amazing people of the tube. So I'm gonna tell you guys this funny ass story about when I purchased a G35 when I was a kid, man. I was like 19 years old. I went and I purchased this brand new G35 from the dealership, right? And they sold it to me, man. They sold it to me because I had a BMW before that, but they're like, man, the horsepower to this, you know, here's the button, the traction control, you turn it off, you can do donuts. And that car had mad power for its time. This is like 2004, 2005 G35 model, right? The two-door. And I love this car, man. So I got it. I'm 19 years old. It's my second car. I work hard for my money. Fuck yeah, man. I own my own business at this time. I dropped out of high school. I don't give a fuck, right? I'm balling. Like, so this car, man, I raced it. I did everything you can imagine with it, man. I literally enjoyed the shit out of this car. And the dealership told me, man, like, this is a sports car. This isn't, you know, our SUV model. This isn't our whatever the fuck model. And believe you me, man, with the amount of tickets I had and my insurance, my age, a two-door sports car, I was paying hell of insurance, right? And I'm actually driving to a spot so I can tell you guys where I launched this car, like Dukes of Hazzard style. Literally Dukes of Hazzard style, in the air, four wheels, all that shit. No fucks given, man. I was you can say crazy stupid or fucking stupid crazy. Who gives a fuck, right? I did it. It is what it is. Car was okay after that. It wasn't fine. And I took good care of my car, man. I had it fixed up. I had the pearl white tinted windows. I had the thick, big ass wide rims on it. I think I had like 9 or 10.5s in the back and 9.5 in the front, I believe. And it was staggered. It was like I believe it was 20 in the back, 19 in the front. It was dope, man. Like, that car looked dope. I put a M3 tail, all black, so it was matching, man. Like, that motherfucker stood out. That car looked wider than it was because of the tires. Like, I know cars, so I set it up in a way where, like, I thought that shit was gonna be dope. So what ends up happening is one day I hit the freeway, and I'm not doing anything special. Like, I've topped that car out. I've maxed it out. That car maxes out at 155, 158 downhill. All right? I've maxed it out so many times. Going to Palm Springs, I've maxed it out. All kinds of shit, bro. So one day I hit the freeway and I'm doing 80 and I'm noticing I'm instantly losing power. But as I'm losing power, I'm hitting the gas pedal, right? I'm hitting the gas pedal, but it's still losing power. And even though I'm holding the gas pedal, what's happening is the car is losing power completely. So I'm like, oh fuck, I'm like switching lanes on emergency, trying to, you know, get off the freeway before the car dies or something. I have no idea what the fuck is going on. All I know is I'm losing power. So, by the way, you see that? That's the ramp to this mall. So me and my homie, we were up there with the G35. I told him, hey bro, put on your seatbelt. He said, why? I said, just trust me, put on your seatbelt. And he grew up, he's my best friend, he grew up with me. He's as crazy as I am. So he puts on his seatbelt. I gun it, bro. That's a long way down, man. I gun it down that entire ramp. Mind you, this is middle of the night. This entire place is empty. Empty. I'm the only fucking car. So I'm doing 60 down that ramp. You can already imagine, all right? 60 miles down that ramp. And I'm going. I matched the brake just enough to bust a left turn so that I can hit this fucking ramp straight. Okay, and you're gonna see this ramp that I hit straight, and I launched the fucking car Dukes of Hazzard style. That's something I always wanted to do, so fuck it, I did it. Right? That was the moment. Spontaneous. It is what it is. That's how I felt like doing it at that moment. That's what I wanted to do at that moment. It was one of my bucket lists, and I did it. And this is the ramp to the side. All right, it doesn't look that steep. Doesn't look that steep. Hit that shit at 60, 70 miles per hour. I guarantee you that's a hella fucking steep, okay? So this car takes off into the fucking air, all four tires, but unlike the fucking movies, it's not Dukes of Hazzard style, right? It's I hit this ramp. You're gonna notice it. Come on, man, go. I know cars are making rights as they're going. Hurry the fuck up. I've been here a million times. As I hit this, there goes my front bumper. It literally just right there goes the front bumper, the radiator, right? So I'm sitting probably at like a 20-30 degree angle, something like that right now. So imagine I hit this ramp, I'm fucking airborne. I'm literally fucking airborne. And I land maybe 2 cars away from this Mercedes, man. And it's not a Dukes of Hazzard. It's not a Dukes of Hazzard style landing. You know, they like, you know, honk the horn, land, keep on going all smooth. Fuck no. This car went up, came down like a fucking brick. Literally like a fucking brick. I heard all 4 suspensions top out at literally, like, it topped out, hit the top of the fucking suspension deck, right? Like, just boom. Now the car is bouncing. It's like boom, boom. And I'm losing control. At that time, there was none of this centerpiece shit right here, right? Fucking like this Christmas ornaments. So I'm fucking swerving. And I'm holding the brake because now it's downhill. And I slide all the way to the middle of the fucking street. Literally, the car stops in the middle of the street. You're gonna see it. Car was a little banged up, fucked up. I think I cracked a couple rims. Had to fix a couple of shit, you know. So imagine right now the car is just sliding on brakes. Like, even though it has traction and all that, all the fucking lights are going off. Imagine I literally stopped in the middle of this giant fucking intersection. Luckily, there was no cars coming. So, now we're laughing. I drive off. Who gives a fuck? It is what it is. Back to the freeway. So I'm losing power, man. I'm losing power. As I exit the freeway and lift off the gas pedal to go to that red light, like I'm going to that red light, like I'll let off the gas pedal, all I hear is the engine go hum hum. Literally, just like hum hum. And the engine seized. It literally seized. So when I would turn it on, it would try to crank. I could hear it try to crank, but it's scraping metal on metal. It's not going anywhere. I realized exactly what happened. The engine seized. You know, it's fucked. I blew the engine. I broke fucking something, right? I broke something fucking important enough where it got stuck and the engine with all its power can't turn over. So I towed the car back to the dealership on a flatbed. And I had called the lemon law lawyer ahead of time and all this stuff, and they had my back. It was cool. And I towed the car back to the fucking Infiniti dealer, which had horrible customer service. It is what it is at that time. I don't know how it is now, but Infiniti at that time, all their cars were going back to service. People that were just driving it normal. I don't know, if you had an SUV, it was going to service once a month. You know what I'm saying? Something is slipping, something is breaking, something is fuck, right? It took them a while to hone their machines. You know what I'm saying? So I told with the flatbed, there's a sticker on the window. Whatever you do, don't turn on the engine. You're going to make it worse. These motherfuckers, of course, every person that passed, they had to turn the fucking engine to find out for themselves. The engine was still turning when I gave it to them. It wasn't like turning normal. It was turning, but you knew, you can hear definitely it's seized. Like it's scraping, you're damaging shit every time you crank. the fucking key, right? These motherfuckers have been cranking it. So, you know, I tow the car there. I get there a little bit after them. They tell me, what the fuck you do to the car? I go, what do you mean? I go, did anyone crank it? He goes, yeah, a bunch of people cranked it. I go, you guys didn't read the fucking giant sticker I put on the fucking front windshield? Don't crank the engine, you're gonna make it worse. I went and I cranked it just to see what would happen, man. I crank it, the engine's not turning no more. It's fully seized. If I had cracked something or I broke something, they demolished it, right? So now I'm talking to like the manager of the dealership. He's like, what the fuck you do to your car? I'm like, I didn't do anything to my fucking car. He's like, no, how the fuck did you drive this car that your engine seized, that your engine broke, right? I was like, well, you guys sold me a sports car and I drove it like a sports car, because that's what I came and bought from you guys, a sports car. And the engine has seized, and it shouldn't have. So, but it had. And the guy cuts me off, and he goes, "Dude, that's not a sports car. We didn't sell you a sports car." I go, "Excuse me, all right? When your salesman was selling me this car, he told me it's a sports car. He told me the button for the traction control, where I can do donuts, right? My insurance I pay for. I pay additional money because it's a two-door sports car, like this BMW M3. It's a two-door sports car convertible, right? You pay extra for two doors. Imagine, you're paying less for having less, you're paying more for having less doors, all right? You're paying more for having the top down, right? I told him, listen, man, it's like this, dude. Like, if you were a Hummer dealership and I came here and you sold me like a H1 Hummer and you told me the fucking military uses it, and you know, all terrain, all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, whatever the fuck, you can drive it in a 45-degree angle and all this shit, and I jumped this fucking sidewalk right here, I jumped the fucking curb and the axle splits in half, right? You crack the diff, the axle, the engine, the gears, the tranny's fucked. I'm gonna come back to you and say, hey, motherfucker, you sold me a off-road vehicle that couldn't even jump a fucking curb. So now I'm telling you, you sold me a vehicle that couldn't do past 80 on the fucking freeway. And it is what it is. And he agreed to disagree. Politely. Said it is what it is. I have a Lemon Law lawyer. You know what? They'll contact you. They contact them. All good, man. I get all my money back for the car, except for the mileage, for the time the car was good, right? Because the car is good until it's not, and you gotta, and then they refund you from that point on. So that's that funny story of the G35 incident and how the dealership handled it. If it was up to them, I was fucked, right? But Lemon Law lawyers and all that shit, like, this motherfucker's been, I don't know how long you guys know. This I've seen this since the early 90s. I remember this in 1992. This guy has aged 5 years in that picture since 1992. He's probably had like 20 facelifts. Probably fucking tightened his asshole fucking like 6 times. You know, like those broads that go get vaginal surgery to tighten their... I don't know how that motherfucker looks like he's in 1995 somehow. But those numbers and that ad has been around forever. I don't know if he's a millionaire or what the fuck he is, but goddamn, you're still making fucking advertisements on buses. He should have owned like half the fucking MTA buses might now with all the advertising he had on them. But anyway, so that's the story of the Infiniti situation. If you know something in your heart, like someone sold you something as is, like for example this car, man. I know my cars, dog, right? They sell you this car, right? Well, the higher end version of the same model, the one with the shamrock on the side, is it was at least the fastest production sedan in the world. It took that title from, I believe, the Mercedes E63. It took the title away, right? So when you go to that dealership and they tell you, oh, forget about the 4 doors, this is a fucking sports car, it goes faster than fast, it's literally a 4-door sports car, it holds the title of fastest sedan in the world, that means it's faster than most sports cars. Well, you just bought a sports car, all right? You just bought a sports car. When someone tells you it's like a SUV, well, it's a fucking SUV, all right? It's either a pickup truck, a 2-door, 4-door SUV, and that's it, right? That's a fucking SUV. I don't need a fucking explanation. That's a SUV, that's an SUV, right? You're selling me an SUV, but if you sell me an off-road vehicle, all-wheel drive, all the fucking time, made by Hummer, completely fucking military-grade steel all over the place, who the fuck knows what, you can drive it in fucking 3-4 feet of water without any problems and shit. Well, when your axle breaks, you make sure to tell them motherfuckers why my axle break. But anyways, they paid me out good, man. They paid me out like 30-40 grand on that car. It was awesome. That was a nice payday. I got my next car out of it, you know? And it is what it is. Solo YOLO BOLO. You guys have a nice day. Hope you enjoyed that story. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Palestinian Day. Whatever the fuck ever you celebrate. YOLO.